What's up, Exeters? Today we're here in England for none other than founding members of Motörhead. So we're only able to check out two, and we're talking about the original members now, not because I know the band went through several changes from 1975, 76 until Lemmy's passing in 2015. But we're here for the originals, okay? None other than Filthy Phil and Fast Eddie. Lemmy, we cannot get him because he is unfortunately buried in Los Angeles. He was actually cremated, but he got a spot over there. So they were formed around 1975-ish, when Lemmy was either kicked out of Headwind or left, whichever way you want to look at it. So he then formed the band Bastard, which then changed his name and stayed to Motörhead. So around 1976, the first album came out, and they started out as a four-piece. One of the guitarists ended up leaving the band not long after forming, and that's when they stuck with their three-piece that pretty much everybody knows them as. So you had Lemmy, vocals and bass, you had Fast Eddie Clarke on guitar, and then Filthy Phil on the drums. So we're going to check out Fast Eddie's grave, see what it's like. I've heard it's really cool. Let's check it out. So Fast Eddie was actually the last one to pass away from the original trio. He didn't pass away until 2018. But he left the band long before that. He actually left around 1982 in the middle of a tour, if I'm not mistaken, because him and Lemmy were having some controversies. I can't remember the whole story. Please don't hold that against me, because there's like a lot of information up here in this big noggin. But it was something having to do with...
Yeah, it's big for real.
It was something having to do with a project Lemmy was working on with another singer, a female. I cannot remember her name. But he saw it as a legitimate project, you know, took it very serious, took it as a challenge. But Fast Eddie felt like this was not for them. They shouldn't be doing a project with, you know, this style of music or this person or whatever, and felt like that it was going to basically bring shame to Motörhead, or, you know, be made fun of, whatever you want to call it. So between their arguments and creative differences, Fast Eddie was like, peace, middle of tour, I'm out of here. And he was, of course, replaced. So, which is unfortunate because he was a great guitarist. Would have loved to have seen the original trio stay together, but... So here he is, the man, Edward Allen Clarke, also known as Fast Eddie. 1950 to January 10th, 2018. I like the way they even have the guitar built into the headstone. It's really nice.
Yeah, I like how they put on the headstone, Fast Eddie, born to rock. Uncompromisingly unique.
Yep. I mean, it was Fast Eddie's sound that made it the cornerstone of how Motörhead was going to sound and the way they were going to play, you know, from there on out. I mean, obviously, Lemmy was the face of Motörhead. It was his band. You know, he wrote all the lyrics. He was a great lyric writer and everything. But Fast Eddie on guitar, along with Filthy Phil, really gave the Motörhead sound. They gave the War Pig, you know, its fuel, so to speak. So, there he is. Rest in peace, Fast Eddie. You made great music. So we're here continuing on with the original trio of Motörhead. We're here today for Phil Filthy Animal Taylor, the drummer of Motörhead, looking for his grave in this very beautiful cemetery. Gotta say, it's got a nice overlooking the hills behind me. So Filthy Animal, better known as Philip John Taylor. Filthy was born in September 1954. He passed away about a month before Lemmy, actually. It was in November of 2015. Lemmy passed away in December, like 3 days after his birthday. Phil was one of the first drummers. He's one of the, like I said, formed the original trio. Him, Fast Eddie, and Lemmy. What we all know and love as the original Motörhead. He was part of the band from like 1975 to 1984, and then he briefly left the band and was replaced, but then came back in 1987 to 1992-ish. He did record 11 albums with the band, so he's got a pretty good chunk under his belt. Filthy Phil, or Filthy Animal, Phil Taylor. He died November 12th, 2015, like I said. He was 61 years old. They cited the cause as being liver failure. And we made it to his grave. So as you guys can tell, it says Philip John Taylor. It's even got the Filthy Animal with the Motörhead War Pig on it. Date of birth and death. Much loved son, brother, and uncle. Legendary drummer with a unique sense of humor. Missed by many. I'm a little teddy bear. I don't swear.
I'm sure he didn't.
Hey, you see?
People leave all the alcohol out.
Yeah. Jack Daniels. Looks like it's been here for a while. Broken drumsticks.
Candles.
They even got No Sleep to Hammerstein, which was their it was a live album that actually went to #1. Oddly enough. And if you can see in the background, the light cage here, right there, actually looked like a bomber. Like they had it up on plane, like a bomber, World War II bomber from back in the day. So it was like this, and the lights would hang, and it would actually move and tilt from side to side in their live concert, which was pretty ahead of its time for late 70s, probably. And then they even have a little Motörhead thing, one of the first. Fast Eddie, Lemmy, Filthy Animal, all dressed in their, this was when they did their medieval. Up until then, all of their album covers looked more like this one, if you can see it, where they're holding pistols, got leather jackets, everything louder than everything else. And then they did this one cover, I can't remember what album it was for off the top of my head. I think Iron Fist. Because I know the Iron Fist was like the last one before Fast Eddie left the band. But they actually had on this medieval attire that you can see here with the swords. And I think it was Iron Fist. Pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it. I often get things wrong because I have a lot going on in my head. But pretty good grade. Love the way they put the Motörhead War Pig on his tombstone. he was a good drummer. When Overkill came out, it was a big song for them. He actually gave him an excuse to buy a double kick pedal, or double bass drum, I should say. Not just kick pedal, but actually 2 double bass drums, so that he could. And it actually, if you look down here, it actually shows them right there, the 2 spades. The picture's kind of dirty and faded, but let's see. Kind of see him a little bit there. Oh, filthy. But he got the 2 Ace of Spades double kick drums. But Overkill was the first time he had those kick drums. And when they wrote the song, he was in there just banging away, just on the kicks, and it kind of gave him an excuse to get a double bass drum. Up until then, he had a single, which would have been the album before, but. He was a wild man. Rest in peace, Filthy Animal. Great drummer, loved and missed by many, including myself. And there's nothing to take away from, you know, the band that came after Fast Eddie and Filthy Phil in the 90s and early 2000s, but because they were all great musicians to fill Motörhead's shoes with Lemmy, but it's just something about the original trio that it's hard to replace. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the original members of Motörhead. Obviously, we couldn't include Lemmy in this video because Lemmy's not buried here in England. From England, but decided to be cremated and buried in Los Angeles, where he spent the later years of his life when he left England and moved to the US. So we have to do a separate video on him just for Lemmy, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing and hearing some of the stuff about Filthy Animal and Fast Eddie. Catch you guys down the road, the next exit. Later.